What is up, everybody? Welcome to another Raw Feeding 101 live stream. Today we are going to be talking about a specific topic. But before we do, as always, let's make sure that our chat is working, and we'll do our regular intro here. So let's get the Facebook group pulled up first. Making noises. Get ready.
Facebook group pull.
There we go. That's working. Let's make sure that YouTube is running. And let's make sure that the Facebook page is running. And it looks like they both are. Merity is here in the Facebook group saying, Hi from Australia. I'm working at a market, but I will try to stay on. Awesome. Welcome, Merity. How are you doing today? How are the pups? How are the pups doing? Is Thor still as picky as ever? I'm sure the answer is yes. But for those of you guys that have no idea who the heck I am, my name is Scott. I started this website right here. This is rawfeeding101.com. This is where we have the balanced meal plans, the boot camp programs that show you how to use nutrition software so you can make balanced meals at home. The courses, consultations, free guides, recommended equipment and supplements, and so on. So if you haven't checked that out, make sure that you check that out, especially since we've got August deals going on. So let's come back over here. And also I started all the Raw Feeding 101 stuff, the Facebook group, YouTube, all the social media Raw Feeding 101 stuffs. So today, I want to talk about 80-10-10 diets. And keep in mind that anything that I say in this video is as a former 80-10-10 feeder. So, I'm speaking not only from this place of experience, but from the other side of the experience as well. And the other day, I think it couldn't have been more than 2 days ago, my wife and I were talking about, I don't even know what, but somehow the YouTube channel got brought up and how people don't always go back and look at older videos. You know, I've been making videos for Raw Feeding 101 for I think that the very first one was at the beginning of 2017. So 6 years now, if I can math here, 6 years, a little more than that. And there's close to 700 videos on the Raw Feeding 101 channel. So even if someone wanted to go back and watch all of that stuff, that's a whole lot of videos to catch up on. And because of that, we were talking again, my wife and I were talking about how maybe I should do some redos, if you will. Redos of past topics, past videos, because again, people don't always go back and look at all of the old stuff. But on top of that, and maybe even more importantly, I would say more importantly than that, we have new people coming in all the time to the community, the Facebook group, YouTube channel, other Facebook groups, other YouTube channels. Like, there's people getting into raw feeding every single day. And I know that because I do all the member ads for the group. I see all the subscribers for the YouTube channel. I see the clearly I'm a new person questions in the group every day. So new people are coming in all the time. So we're going to be doing some more of that. Revisiting old topics, revisiting old video subjects, old video topics, just using synonyms. But we're going to be doing that. And what we're going to be covering today is how 80-10-10 is not a long-term solution. Merity's saying, yes, he is, but I did a post last night and tagged you in it. Would love your input on what else I can hide in his food. Yeah, Thor would need it hidden. I swear he's the pickiest eater I've ever seen. And I can't find info on kangaroo everywhere. I keep saying we need to convince a millionaire, billionaire person to get hardcore into raw feeding so they can just run all the data for us. That's what we need. So if anyone knows a millionaire or a billionaire that has dogs, then let's get them onto raw feeding so that we can convince them to fund all these studies. And I live in the country, so there's your four-wheeler sound for the day. Krista, what's going on? Krista from Vibrant Canine over in California is saying, "Hey yo, what's going on, Krista? How you doing, my friend? It's good to see you." I don't know if you went to Super Zoo or not, but I did not. And if you were there, I missed you. I missed you. I'm sorry. Um, but we're going to be revisiting some old topics, and today's topic that we're going to be revisiting is 80-10-10 diets not being a long-term solution. And I'm going to actually show you some data for that instead of just saying, no, it's not, just believe me because I said it. I'm actually going to show you some data on it. Merity's saying, yes, please, I agree. Someone find a millionaire or billionaire that's into raw feeding, please. Krista says, I did not. I'm here chasing my tail. Well, that's good. That means you're busy. That means you're helping lots of puppies. So I'm going to go ahead and get something pulled up here, and we're going to do a screen share. And just so you know, if you're commenting in the Facebook group, because I'm switching my screen, if you're commenting in the Facebook group or on the Facebook page, the comment shower, if you will, that I've got over on my other screen will not show me your name. It's just going to say Facebook user. So I won't be able to see who's actually saying what you're saying. So if I don't call your name out and you're on Facebook somewhere, then know that it's not because I don't love you. It's just because I can't see your name. But let's go ahead and get our screen share changed over here. There we go. So this is Pet Diet Designer. Love it or hate it, this is Pet Diet Designer. Some people really, really love it. Some people really, really hate it just because it is a little bit less user-friendly. And it takes a bit of time to get used to using. But I love it because it's inexpensive. And once you do get how to use it down, it is crazy simple how to use. Before we get into any of this explanation, though, I do want to give you a disclaimer so that you don't end up doing more harm than good. And I do this every time that I show Pet Diet Designer. Don't just go and start using Pet Diet Designer to start making diets. Because there's data in here that is either outdated when it comes to supplements and that kind of thing, or is completely missing, like calcium and phosphorus content that includes the calcium and phosphorus content from bones in raw meaty bones like chicken wings and drumsticks and turkey necks and on and on and on and on and on. So if you're going to learn how to use Pet Diet Designer, have someone show you how to use it. We obviously have the boot camp programs. If you haven't heard of the boot camp programs before, this is what we teach you how to use. This is what I use for the meal plans. This is what lots of other people use to make meal plans, and it's because it's super accurate once you get the right stuff in it, and once you learn how to use it, it's easy to use, and it's super, super cheap compared to a lot of the other pet nutrition software that's available right now. So find some way to learn how to use it properly. Don't just start using it because you almost without doubt, you will do more harm than good if you start using this thing without the proper data in it. So there's my disclaimer. Find someone to use it. Check out one of the bootcamp programs. We've got some deals on, most of them for August sale right now, but there's my disclaimer. Don't just start using it. Figure out how to use it before you do. So let's take a look at this. This recipe that we've got here is called 80-10-10 Dog 50 Pounds. That's the actual recipe name and the dog's name. So what this is a recipe for a dog that is an adult dog that's 4 years old and they weigh 50 pounds. And these are 4 common ingredients that could be used in an 80-10-10 formulation and the amounts for that. So we've got pork shoulder, we've got chicken wing, we've got beef liver, and we've got beef kidney. All of these are really common ingredients. And what I want to do is point out, and by the way, as far as percentages and stuff goes, this is 2%. Some people feed 1.5%, some people do 2%, some people feed 3%, some people feed 4%. So however it is that you do your 80-10-10, this is not 100% accurate to that. This is just the 2% 80-10-10 for this particular dog. Had to clear my throat there so that you guys didn't have to listen to it. So that's what we're looking at here is, again, an 80-10-10, 2% for a 50-pound dog that is 4 years old. So let's take a look first at the calorie situation. Or let's actually back up a little bit more than that. How Pet Diet Designer works is it lets you choose between two different nutrition standards, AFCO and NRC. Both of them are based off the same principle, which is your dog should have X amount of calories per one, or not X amount of calories, X amount of each nutrient per 1,000 calories that they consume every day. So, you know, if it's calcium for an adult dog, your dog should have 1 gram of calcium every day per 1,000 calories that they eat. So if they eat 1,000 calories exactly, they should get 1 gram of calcium. If they eat 1,600 calories a day, they should get 1.6 grams or 1,600 milligrams of calcium every day, and on and on. And it's like that for all the different nutrients. Not the same amounts, but that's how these systems work. And Pet Diet Designer lets you choose which of these systems you want to balance it to, whether it's NRC or AFCO. I recommend NRC, and that is Pet Diet Designer's default, but you can choose whether you want to do NRC, which is represented by this RA up here at the top, and I know it's a little bit smaller for you guys, but the RA stands for Recommended Allowances, and AFCO, or MR, stands for Minimum Requirements. Okay. Now, if we come back here to Recommended Allowances, which is NRC, then we see a bunch of stuff going on, and it kind of looks like we're diagnosing a car engine or something like that. But if you've gone through the boot camps, you know what you're looking at here. Basically, what this is trying to tell us is whether or not we're meeting nutrient amounts, whether we're hitting proper ratios for certain nutrients, calorie amounts, fat percentages, and so on. So for now, this isn't exactly true, but for now, just assume that if something is yellow or gray, aka completely missing, you're not feeding enough of that nutrient with these ingredients and these amounts, whatever they are. So just to start off with just the nutrient content with this 80-10-10 diet for this 50-pound adult dog, we have EPA and DHA, and these are the things that are the nutrients that do not have sufficient amounts in this diet. So we've got EPA and DHA, calcium, don't know what's going on with my voice today. Calcium, magnesium, iron, zinc, manganese, iodine, vitamin D, vitamin E, vitamin K, and choline. Okay, so those are just the nutrients that are not high enough, we'll say. They are lacking in this diet. Then we start looking at our ratios. We've got calcium and phosphorus. We've got EPA and DHA, which is the fatty acids that we get typically from things like fish and so on. And LA and ALA. LA is another fatty acid that we get a lot from things like skin and fat, particularly chicken skin fat. And we've got ALA, which it comes from, the big thing that people feed for this is seeds, whether it's seed oils or soaked and then ground seeds. That's why you see people feeding seeds a lot, is for the ALA content. And as we can see here, all of these ratios are messed up too. And you can tell, basically, again, there's much more to this. I'm just trying to keep it super simplified. Green is good, red is bad. And all of our needles are in the red here. Some just barely, some substantially. And then we come to probably the most immediate problem, I would say, meaning the problem that would give you the most grief in real world, being able to see it, having to deal with it, and that is the calorie amount. So here we are seeing that this dog, this daily target for this 50-pound dog, who's got an average amount of activity. They're at an ideal weight right now. They don't need to lose weight. They don't need to gain weight. They need to maintain where they are. They get an average amount of exercise. They need about 1,100 calories a day right now, 1,143. The remaining is 299. And that is basically saying that you still need 299 calories in this diet to meet this daily target number. So you're 300 calories short, basically. And if you've gone through the boot camps, you've heard this speech before. But what's going to start happening here if this dog's fed this diet for any significant amount of time is the pet parent's probably going to start freaking out, because the dog's going to start losing weight fairly quickly at 300 calories under their daily amount. They're probably going to start having hunger pukes, which is no fun for your dog because they don't feel good. You're cleaning up the mess. Hopefully it's on a hard surface that you can clean up easily and it's not on the carpet all the time. So this pet parent and the dog are not going to be in a good situation just from the calories alone. And this brings up another issue with 80-10-10 diets, is they don't take into account the differences in calories with different foods, not to mention the different nutrient contents in foods, even within the same animal. Once again, boot camp clients have heard this over and over again, so you guys are just going, yeah, I know this now. But just if we're looking at pork shoulder, let's say, so we've got 12.8 ounces here, right? Let's take another really common ingredient like, let's say 90-10 ground beef, okay? Let's say that. We'll grab 90-10 ground beef, okay? Ground beef, 90-10, and we'll put it to the exact same amount. Whoops. We'll put it to the exact same amount at 12.8 ounces. Okay. Now, right now with the pork shoulder at 12.8 ounces, we've got 299. If we turn it off, now we've got 360 remaining. So there's 70 less calories, or 60 less calories in this food than there is in pork shoulder. And it gets more and more extreme. If we were to use, let's say, well, you guys get the point. I'm going to move on from that one and look at something different. Because I don't want to, we're going to go into fixing this in a part 2 or potentially part 3. But point being is that it doesn't take into account the uniqueness of each ingredient and just says meat is meat, bones are bones, and so on. And to look at that bones are bones example, now that we've looked at a meat example, let's look at chicken wing versus something else. And we'll even use another chicken part. So chicken wings, for example, have about 1,300, just shy of 1,300 milligrams of calcium for every 3.5 ounces that you feed, or per 100 grams. Okay? And right now we're looking at our calcium at 53%. So just as an experiment, we'll write this down so that I don't forget it. Right now this is at 1.6%. Not 1.6%, excuse me. 1.6 ounces. Let's continue increasing this until we get to calcium being at 100%. So let's just do 2 ounces, 3 ounces. Now we're at 97, 3.125, or 3 1/8. And there we go. So now we're at 101%, right? But let's use this 3.125 ounces, which is a lot more than 1.6 that 80-10-10 says to feed. Go to food search and do drumsticks instead. Another really common, I feed them all the time. I fed them yesterday and I'll be feeding them today. Chicken drumsticks. Skin on and everything. Let's put it to the exact same amount, 3.125 ounces. 3.125 ounces. Now our calcium's at 49%. turn it off, and turn chicken wings back on, and we're back to 101. This is why 80-10-10 doesn't work. As a short-term solution, 80-10-10 is great. It really, really is. It's simple ingredients that allow the dog to transition if they're an adult dog so they can get used to having fresh food in their diet. Just like a person, they're going to have issues switching over to healthier foods. If you go from McDonald's and soda and all the not so great things and then start eating a super high fiber, all organic diet, then you're going to have some issues, right? Some transitional issues. You guys know what I'm talking about. We'll leave it there. It's no different with dogs. So having adult dogs have a simple diet like this temporarily is great. But long term, it just doesn't work because it doesn't look at the reality of food. It doesn't take into account the different calorie amounts for all these different foods that we can potentially feed. Doesn't take into account the different nutrient concentrations in all these different foods that we feed. It just says white meat is white meat, red meat is red meat, bones are bones, skin is bad, take it all off because fat is evil, and make sure you feed 2 organs. It doesn't matter what they are. It just doesn't, that's not reality. That's like saying, make sure that you put gas in your car. Doesn't matter which one, right? You can put gasoline in there, or you could put diesel. They're both gas, right? They both run cars. They both do the same thing. So 80-10-10, I'm not against. I'm against doing it long term and getting 80-10-10 to be where you stop. 80-10-10 again is for temporary transitions for adult dogs, in my personal opinion. That is their best use case. Again, is a temporary transition point to get them used to whole, fresh food ingredient diets while you build on top of that. We've done videos in the past and we'll do some more in the future, like I was talking about earlier, revisiting some common topics, but adding things on top of it to make it work, to fill in the gaps or fill in the holes, if you will, in this 80-10-10 diet. That, for me, that's what the 80-10-10 diet is for, that temporary transition where you build on it as you go. Hopefully fairly quickly so that the dog isn't on this type of diet for an extended period of time. And I'm not a fan of it for puppies at all. I've done, again, you can do, if you go to YouTube and type in Raw Feeding 101, 80-10-10, just the numbers, no slashes or anything, 80-10-10 puppies, then you can see a video very similar to this one where I show why it does not work for puppies. Puppies are a whole different story. I don't recommend 80-10-10 for puppies at all. Adult dogs transitioning to raw foods, absolutely yes, as long as it's temporary. So just to reiterate this, because we moved on from it kind of quickly, with the exact same amount of food, 3.125 or 3 1/8 of an ounce, we have, of the chicken wings, we have 101%, 101, 101% of our dog's daily calcium requirements. Notice, by the way, that the ratio over here is still all messed up, but that's where boot camp stuff comes into play. But we are at 101%, right? Now if we follow 80-10-10 rules, bones are bones, especially if it comes from the same animal, right? Chicken bone's a chicken bone's a chicken bone. Wrong. If we turn on the drumsticks instead, we go from 101% to 49.6%. That's because chicken wings have close to 1,300 milligrams of calcium per 100 grams or 3.5 ounces. Chicken drumsticks only have about 600. So there's more than double the amount of calcium in the exact same amount of chicken wings. If you want to talk even bigger differences, then we can look at things like turkey necks, which are closer to 1,800. And again, boot campers have heard this 100 times, so if you guys are watching, I'm sorry. It's a little bit of a repeat for you. but that's 3 times the amount of calcium that the drumsticks have. So one more time, and then I'll drop it, and we'll come back to our comments and get you guys on your way towards your weekend and smacking karate chop in the microphone. 80-10-10 is great. It truly is great for introducing an adult dog to fresh foods, getting them switched over and introducing bone sources, introducing these high protein and fat, appropriate protein and fat foods like pork shoulder and chicken breast and all the other billion things that we can feed. What it's not good for is a long-term solution. Now, there's so many resources out there. Yes, there's our stuff, the meal plans and the boot camps, but there's a bunch of other stuff out there as well. So if you think that I'm telling you all this just because I want you to go and sign up for something, feel free to think that way. That's absolutely your right. But what I'm telling you right now is there are other sources out there for it. So go find something. Even if it's not us, go find something. Someone to show you how to do it on your own by using stuff like this software. Go get one of the other softwares that are effective. They're just a lot more expensive. Or have someone else do recipes for you. So don't take what I'm telling you as, haha, you have to go buy stuff from me. Because there's other people out there that do it. Just take this into account when you are deciding how you want to feed your dogs long term. 80-10-10, great for temporarily transitioning adult dogs. Not great for a long-term, lifelong diet. So there is my piece. That's part 1. In a future part 2, we'll either have 2 or 3 parts. I don't know yet. Part 2 might be going into more reasons why it's not good. Maybe some of the consequences. I don't know. Or we'll just go straight to the other topic, either part 3 or the only other part 2, of how to fix an example of one of these diets. So this is part 1. Be on the lookout for part 2 and or 3. Not sure when that will happen, but we will be back on Monday for another live stream. I don't think it'll happen on Monday, but be on the lookout for that. So let's come back to our comments here and see who we've got hanging out with us. Merity saying, I am sending heaps of my customers to your YouTube channel. Thank you, my friend. I need help with it. Again, shoot me a message. Janet saying, good evening, Scott from beautiful northern New York. What's going on, Janet? A former boot camper, and so is Merity. Sandy is saying, hi, friend, long time no watch. Good to see you. Good to see you as well. Another boot camper with Arnold Schwarzenegger. How is Arnold Schwarzenegger? Or I guess you're not Arnold, since she's a girl. Annie Schwarzenegger? Annie Schwarzenegger? Merity's saying, I might have to get you to help me with Narla's and Thor's again. They are definitely a unique case. They've got some really unique issues going on. Thor's pickiness, and I won't get into Narla's stuff, but on the live stream. But yeah, you've got a super unique situation for sure. Check over here. And I promise eventually I'll get this back here cleaned up. I've just been so busy with stuffs that it has just not been at the top of the priority list. There's a cooler back there that I was going to use to do some defrosting of one of our freezers that desperately needs a defrost. Come to find out, though, it doesn't have a cap in the bottom. So it won't hold liquids or anything like that, so that won't work out. An old office chair that I was using before I got this new one that I'm sitting on. There's just a bunch of stuff. There's a cardboard box sitting right behind me that held Wolken's new kennel mat. It's like a 2-inch thick, soft, kind of rubberized for traction in his kennel, because his kennel was that really slick plastic and it just wasn't working out great for him. since he's getting up there. He turned 13 in July. Our big boy Buchan, Mr. Wilkin. But yeah, I'll get that cleaned up at some point. Merity says, I'll PM you about it. Thanks heaps. You are welcome. Enjoy the market. Tell everyone in Australia hello from Utah, if they know where that is. I've talked to so many people outside of the United States that have no idea what Utah is, just because it's, I don't know, maybe it's just one of those things that's not in the news or something that often. Like if you tell someone in the UK if they've heard of California, then they're like, yeah, I've heard of California. If you tell someone in the UK, like, what's Utah? They're like, I don't know. I don't know. Sandy says, haha, she's good. Snoring on her bed after some swimming at the local lake. Hope Tutu is doing well, and Ariane, of course, and Wolken, too. Yes, they are. They are good. Montu's right here. Tutu? Tutu? You being sleepy? Are you being sleepy? You don't want to come say hi to everybody? Do you want to come say hi? He said no. He says no. Are you sleepy? Are you sleepy? Let's see if I can get him in frame without totally ruining this. Are you sleepy? Doo-doo. I'm ignoring you because I do not want to be on your television show. Let's see if we can get this lined up again. There we go. That's ish how it was. Merity says, hi, lovely Janet. Janet says, being out of the news is a good thing. That's really true. Utah's kind of boring, and I like it. Utah sounds like an amazing state to live in. It is. I used to complain about it a lot when I was growing up, but it's actually a really great place. We get, for the most part, we get all 4 seasons. Some years they're really extreme 4 seasons, and sometimes they blend together. So it's pretty good. I like it. I'm sure Ariane would love to live somewhere that, for those of you that don't know, that's my wife. I'm sure Ariane would love to live somewhere where it would never snow again, but Ariane could never move that far away from her family, so she's going to have to put up with the snow. Living in New York would definitely not work for her, Janet. Nerdy says, oh, my beautiful boy, yes. Him so handsome and shiny. Thinks he's asleep in the car. Janet says, oh my god, you just turned your head and I saw how long your hair is. Yeah, it is getting there. It's getting there. It's quite long. Quite long. And people ask me why I'm growing it out. I literally have absolutely no reason. I just decided not to shave my head one day when it was normally time to shave my head again, and because I just preferred the buzz cut so I didn't have to deal with hair. And there's like 2 versions of not having to deal with your hair on a daily basis. Not there at all, basically just buzz cutting it, or having it long enough to where all you have to do is brush it and pull it up in a ponytail. Or a brony tail. I don't know. I don't know what the cool kids are saying these days. All I know is it's there, and I don't have to like put gel and hairspray in my hair and stuff every day, which I like very, very much. Very much indeed. And there's, with my mom's history on the family, there's a chance that I've got the whole balding DNA at some point. Nothing's happening now. Everybody says there is because of these widow's peaks that I've got here. But they're the same now as they are in my 5th grade pictures. So if at some point I'm going to bald, then might as well enjoy some long hair now. Cisco is saying, what's up, Scott? What's going on, Cisco, over on YouTube? Cisco also says, buzz cut is my go-to as well. Yeah, it's so nice not having to deal with hair. The only reason, now that I'm thinking about it, where I don't just shave my head again, because it's even simpler than just having long hair and just running a brush through it, is because Ariane does not like it as much. She just does not like the no hair being there at all look. So things we do. The things we do. But I am going to go ahead and let you guys go here. This has been part 1 of 80-10-10 is not a long-term solution. We're going to be at some point doing a part 2, potentially part 3. I haven't decided whether I want to go into more of the why it's bad stuff or just leave it here because people get the point. But either way, we'll also at some point be doing another part about how to fix one example of these diets, because every time you change one of those 4 categories of the 80-10-10, then how to fix it will change. But at some point, go into fixing that. So we're definitely going to be doing another part in this particular, I wouldn't even call it a series, but this particular topic. We'll also be revisiting some more older topics that we talked about in the past, because not everybody goes back and watches the almost 700 videos that are on the Raw Feeding 101 channel, and there's new people and every single day, and there's no way that we can expect them to go back through all that information either. So we're going to be doing some revisiting old topics. You guys that have been here, you OGs that have been here for a long time, some of it's going to be some refresher stuff for a while, but I think giving some new information to the new people coming in, or some old information to the new people coming in, is a good idea. Revisiting those and not having the videos and stuff look like total garbage like they used to back in the day. Some of the 2017 videos are absolute cringe worthy. I can't watch them. I've tried to, and I can't watch them. But Janet says, I live in a cold... Oh, wait, I skipped one. Janet says, oh my God. Oh, no, I did read that one. I live in a cold climate north of the Adirondack. Did I say that right? Adirondack Mountains. Diane lives in the snow belt of Buffalo. Blah. No bugs in the winter, and I have the woods to myself. Ooh, that's a big plus. With no other walkers or hikers. That's a big plus. And so much less farm work in the winter, except breaking ice out of water buckets for the horses and chickens. Yeah, that's true. That's true. There's big pros and big cons. Ariane would hate living somewhere there was that much snow all the time. I don't think I would mind because I don't have to drive anywhere for work, but she would, and she would absolutely care. Janet says, so glad you're covering this. I think the what to add / how to fix 80-10-10 is what many people need. Yeah, and I think that this, the more that I'm thinking about it, I just don't want to do that much negative. I think people get it. Like, it's just a bad idea. If you just look at that picture alone and see everything that's yellow is lacking, that's like enough, you know? So maybe I'm just going to do that part. Unless there's something really significant that I want to pinpoint, maybe we'll do like a part 1.5 or something. I don't know. But yeah, I think that'll probably be good. We shall see. We shall see. Either way, though, we will do the how to fix one example. Because again, anytime like we were looking at there, if you change pork from pork to beef, or from chicken wings to chicken drumsticks, then that completely changes, which you know, Janet, how to fix it. So everybody have yourselves a great weekend. Make sure to, again, go and check out all of the rawest deals over on rawfeeding101.com. The meal plans, the boot camps, especially if you are wanting to dive into what we've been talking about today, learning how to make these balanced meals and fix this stuff. Check out the boot camps. Even if you see this video later, we run deals on them all the time. So if it's 6 months from today when it's airing on the 18th of August, 2023, or a year from now, we've got stuff running on them all the time. Please go and check them out. And again, don't start using Pet Diet Designer without being shown how to use it and fixing some of the either outdated or missing data that is in the software right now. But you guys have yourselves a great weekend. Enjoy whatever kind of weather you're getting right now. I don't know what kind you guys are getting right now. Ours is kind of getting little rain shower, August type stuff going on here, but still plenty hot. Give your puppies all kinds of belly rubs. Give your horses some extra carrots if you've got them. If you're Heather, then you can go and play with your rhinoceroses and your elephants and everything too. But we will be back on Monday for another Raw Feeding 101 live stream at approximately 6 p.m. Pacific time, 9 p.m. Eastern time. And it's 10 degrees Celsius here and raining. I don't know what 10 Celsius is in Fahrenheit. Silly Americans. Sorry about that. But have a great weekend. I'll see you guys on Monday for another live stream, 9 p.m. Eastern time, 6 p.m. Pacific time, where we'll be talking about something related to do with raw feeding. But until then, go give your puppies and your kitties and your dogs and your cats and your other awesome pets some love from me. And I'll see you guys on Monday for the next live stream. Bye-bye. Dude, do you want to say bye-bye? No. Him still napping.